The plan is Gates FX. Sorry, Gates FX is the broker that I'm using. I just deposited 2K. Uh, you can see where I deposited the 2K there. I traded this account at the beginning of the month, uh, beginning of May. Obviously, we are now. Uh, it is technically May 31st, but the Sunday the market opens, whatever, right? So technically June 1st, we're trading this account, and we're going to try to take this account. I'm not going aiming for any particular thing, but we just want to see if we can grow, right? So we're going to see where we can grow this account to. Right now, the first trade that I'm in is AUD Chef, and I don't have many markets this week. This was already set up. I was not able to do this before this took off. Make this video or whatever before this took off because we were on our way back from St. Louis. So this trade is already taken off. Hopefully it continues. So AUD Chef is the first pair. Now AUD USD is the next pair that I want to get in for a buy. We have a daily zone. The blue is my daily zones. The green are my H4 zones. So we've had a shift of structure on the H4 once. Then essentially it's shifted back, but now we have another break. So what I'm waiting on is for a retest so I can buy that. Euro CAD, I'm waiting for. We are in a downtrend and on the H4, right? So you can literally see it all over the chart, right? So we have a shift of structure, retest, break, right? It gets to the blue zone, which is my daily zone. It falls through, right? Price continues to fall, continues to fall. It gets to the next zone. We have a break, but we never got a retest. Price gets all the way up to the next daily zone, so obviously we didn't buy it. We had a shift of structure, retest. We sold. We went about 1.5 in profit, and then price came back on us. Usually I put my stop loss when I get up a 1 to 2. I usually put my stop loss at break even. That's just how I do it. If I see a situation to change that or whatever the case may be, I may look at it. But right now, that's just how I do it. So you can see we were stopped out, but we have another shift of structure. But what I would like to see is price to fall below, retest, then sell. That's what I would like to see on this pair here. USD JPY is a pair that I would like to see fall back underneath the daily zone, retest the H4, and then fall as well. What I hope, usually I trade technicals, right? I've recently added fundamentals because I think, why not add something to my game, right? To increase the win rate potentially. But right now we have obviously the U.S. and Iran going through their issue with the war and stuff. But typically, what you're going to see is from what I've studied, right? I'm still new to the fundamentals, but from what I've studied, U.S. currencies, the U.S. dollar, the Japanese yen, and the Swiss franc are safe haven currencies, especially the U.S. dollar. So for the most part, ever since the war has been going on, you had this drop here, but for the most part, you've been seeing a rise in the U.S. dollar. So now, what you're going to see is once the war stops and they officially come to an agreement, you're going to see AUD rise. You're going to see the USD pairs fall. How much, all that, I don't know, but that is what I do know. So, for example, I'm in AUD Chef. It's giving me a uptrend on the H4. So technically, I would buy this anyway, technical wise. But if you throw in, let's say Trump tweets tonight, hey, we made a deal. both parties have signed, you will see just about every AUD rise. You will see some of your Euro pairs fall, like Euro AUD. I was looking to buy this. We got word that the U.S. and Iran may have a deal. It's fallen, right? So it's just part of it, part of the game. Everything plays a part in it. So that's something I want to add to what I got going. But this is all subject to change, just like this right here. I'm looking at this. Okay, so I actually like this. So I'm going to add this to my pairs to trade. So weekly, if you notice, I use the Hikinachi candlesticks to identify which direction we're in. The weekly close underneath this daily zone. The daily is underneath the daily zone. We kind of close above. This candlestick would have to close below. But notice we've also had a shift of structure on the H4. So I'll move this up here to allow myself to know that this is now in a H4 downtrend. So now what I would like to see is I would like to see price on the daily close below the zone. But I would also like to see a retest, rejection candle, and a sell-off on Euro GBP, right? That is what I'm looking for. I love the H4 shift of structure. I love the H4. We had Euro USD, right? USD is a safe haven pair. So if we hear the war is going to stop, you will probably most likely see a rise in the euro, right? Because everybody will not need the safe haven currency and they can start investing in other currencies and stuff like that. But you can see where we got in. Notice I got in at the bottom of the zone, which this zone wasn't here originally. The more I got to looking at price, I noticed there are some rejections in this area. So I added it, which makes this make sense on why I lost. Part of the game, man. You're not always going to see it. Price is going to create levels as candlesticks create. That's just part of it. Some things change, right? Things are subject to change. So you got to be willing to adapt, which is why most people in life in general, not just trading, most people can't handle it because they're not willing to adapt to what the new is, right? So that is so far what I'm looking at. If anything else changes, I'll let you know. Something that I've learned about myself is I am not a good continuational trader. Like, meaning second leg, second push, third push. My best setup is when price gets to an area. Let me try this. When price gets to an area, so gets to a zone and we have a shift of structure, this retest here is my best setup. When I try to shift the structure, right, and I try to buy this or this, terrible. And I went back and looked, I got cooked January, February, and March, and I couldn't figure out what I was doing. Well, come to find out, I was chasing. And I was chasing because I had some losing trades that I shouldn't have taken. So I started chasing, trying to get it back. And I did that for a long period of time, not realizing what I was doing. So I'm going to take you through, let me see if I can find it. EuroCAD's one of them, where chasing, this trade ended up breaking even, I think. Right, which is why I took away the stop loss. Or maybe it went hit his TP, I don't know. But not realizing that I'm trying to buy in the daily zones, not marking my zones properly, just factoring my trades off one thing. Oh, it's in an H4 uptrend and buying, which is terrible. Selling at the bottom of zones, which is terrible. Just completely chasing when the first push of that trade is around here, right? We had a break, retest. That's the first push. Everything would have played out. But instead I was doing that. What was another one? Hold on, let me go back. I'm gonna show y'all where I got cooked. Look at all this. These losses in a row. Taking all these losses in a row definitely tells you something is not right. Something is going wrong. This is just me being transparent as possible. So let's go NZD or Euro NZD. Euro NZD. When was that date? And this is how I do it. It was on Euro NZD 112. This is how I do it. I like to keep all of my longs or shorts on the chart so I can go back and look at them. So where are we at? That's April. Let's go back. Okay. So yeah, look at all the trades I was taking in these zones, man. And I'm buying or I'm selling at the bottom of these zones. Like, look how terrible this is. Selling at the bottom of a zone, buying at the top of a zone, when in all reality, the trade that should have been taken was right here for a sell. But what happens is when you start chasing and you got loss, now you're second guessing this sell, right? You're second guessing that because you've taken 4 losses in a row and it's like, is my strategy working? Well, this strategy, no, it's not working. That doesn't work. So when I take trades, I learned when I take trades, again, that here would have been a perfect trade right here, right? We got a downtrend. We are retesting the daily zone, break, retest, buy, right? Not a, this would have been, today, this trade is invalid, number one, because it's at a support, which I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Not just that, it's at a support, so we're definitely not trying to sell it, but the sell is invalid because it never retested at the zone. So once we had that break, this retest should have been the sell underneath, not waiting until it got all the way down here. Now, what's changed is, let me go to where, okay. Once the month of April, I started cooking again because I realized, okay, my best setup, let's go GBP USD. My best setup is, let me find it. When we have a shift of structure, let me find the path, right? H4, shift of structure. Now this one, the original sell should have been here. So on this one, I did take a sell on the second leg, which, it worked out. It worked out. Let me go to a different one. That's actually not my best setup. So let me see. USD chef. Oops. USD chef. Okay, so here's perfect. Sell off, touch the zone, wait for it. We got to shift the structure. We retested the H4 area of interest, which is right here after rejecting off the daily, rejection candlestick, buy. So that, I mean, it's that simple. That is my best setup. We couldn't sell it. We got another shift of structure from the zone, but we never got a retest. The retest didn't happen until right here, but we've already touched that zone down there. So, man, that is something that I have learned is I can only take first leg retest trades. So, retest, this is trying to get in that first leg of that first push. That's the push that I have to get. Let's go. Let's see if we can do one more. Euro NZD. Let's go. Euro NZD. Price fail. Shift the structure. Retest. Rejection candlestick didn't happen until down here. We bought. We got that first push, and really the first push was essentially the only push. We never got a retest and another leg, which happens a lot, which is why, it's important for me to take first leg and not second leg, third leg, and all that, because obviously you see up here where we got cooked, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. But yeah, man, that's something that I've learned. Now, this may not be a lot to some of y'all, but literally how I made $500, essentially from my phone, my computer, in the market, literally just trading market structure, support and resistance. We're on AUD Chef. As you can see, we are at this time, we were in a daily downtrend, right? So, create a higher high, we had a pullback. So, technically, we're in a daily downtrend. But, we are also in a weekly downtrend. So this is technically a counter trend trade, but once we touched this zone, and we had a shift of structure, pullback, I then look for a rejection candlestick. We got it right here. This is our first rejection candlestick after the shift of structure, rejection candlestick. And what I like to do is I like to get within my entry within 10 pips of my rejection candlestick. As you can see, that happens. We were able to enter here, take longs, and if we go down to the smaller time frame, you can see we also had a shift of structure on the 15-minute as well, and that's literally, essentially, once that happened, that's where I got in at, and then we held to the upside. So for me, it's literally that simple. Support, resistance, shift of structure, buy, rinse and repeat.